Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be the twin astrology forecast for the Twin Flame Collective for the week ahead. We are up against some very heavy energies. We're still riding that eclipse portal. Many of us are still in the depths of some deep, dark, shadowy energies after that full moon eclipse in Taurus. And so I feel there is a need for many of us to get grounded in the energies this week, because I do feel this energy of like accelerated ascension. Things are going to start to speed up, and discernment is really going to be a key in the energies this week because things are going to be so shadowy. And so I feel that eclipse kind of came in and it ripped like the rose-colored glasses off when it comes to some karmic situations. And we're still up against some very scorpionic energies this week. We have Mercury, the Sun, and Mars all in Scorpio. And all of those energies are opposing Jupiter in Taurus retrograde, along with opposing Uranus in Taurus retrograde. And so what does this mean for the upcoming week? A lot of unexpected changes, some tower events, and a lot of exposure when it comes to some hidden truths. And so we're going to still be feeling all of this eclipse portal energy probably for the next couple of weeks until the new moon in Scorpio on November the 13th. And so relationships are at the forefront this week. Revelations when it comes to relationships, revelations when it comes to our leadership roles as twin flames. And I do feel a lot of exposure when it comes to lack of respect, and where people are still clinging to control due to their pride and their ego. And so I felt a very strong Leo energy and focus with a little bit of a plutonic feel. And so fixed signs are definitely feeling this. So if you have any fixed signs, like in your big three, your sun, your moon, your rising, maybe even your Venus, your Mars, or North Node energy, I do feel it's about to get really real. Things are about to get really real in the energies this week, especially when it comes to soul contracts. I do feel a lot was illuminated and eclipsed when it comes to specific soul contracts on the weekend and over the coming weeks, as we shift from these bonded karmic soul ties into more divine unions, more divine connections. And so I do believe communication is at the forefront. And this is where we choose to cross that threshold. I feel a lot of the divine masculines are having to sit in the energy of where they've lacked self-integrity, what kind of intentions they've brought forward in their life, and all of these broken promises. And so I feel a lot of the masculines are in this very destructive energy. It kind of felt like torture, like this torturous death energy coming through, almost like this imprisonment of this Eight of Swords energy. It was a very desolate feeling tapping into the masculine collective, because I feel a lot of triggering over the weekend when it comes to the awareness of these karmic patterns, these ancestral patterns, these toxic soul ties. And I do feel many in the collective are now being deeply submerged into the depths of that scorpionic energy, into the depths of the shadow aspects of the soul. And many right now are being forced to face some type of truth for their own personal journey. I feel Scorpio energy is all about the truth, getting to the bottom of things. And this does require death and transformation, not literal death, metaphorical death. But I do feel over the weekend there was some sort of exposure when it comes to the karmic succubus energy, and where there's been this invasion of all of this personal free will. And I do feel a lot of Lilith themed energy. And so Virgo is also going to be prominent. So check your Virgo placements in your birth chart. I do feel we are at this major divine Y point for at least the divine masculines. I feel a lot of the feminines are kind of just trying to do their own thing and flow through the energies. But this is a week really of all of us collectively embracing being who we really are. So this is the divine Y. You can choose to embrace your authenticity and to be who you truly are, or you can choose the latter of the two And you can choose to be imprisoned in the eternal purgatory of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? Because we are at that pivot point. And so I feel a week of karmic justice, karmic rebalancing. There's like this cosmic truth serum coming up in the energies this week. And it does kind of feel like vindication for the divine feminine. And I do feel for the masculine, death as a teacher. And it's like the masculine, I feel, is feeling very punished. It's the energy of judgment when it comes to the broken oaths of these connections. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines are going to be deep in the underworld, in these extremities of these opposing energies between Scorpio and Taurus, right? Scorpio is asking us to transform. And Taurus is asking us, what do you truly value when it comes to your personal beliefs and your foundations for your home life, your family life, and your overall beliefs? And so I feel we're going to be up against some very aggressive 606. I noticed on the timer. For me, all of the number syncs have been mirror syncs: 616, 606, 505, 838, 131, 161. And so whenever the mirroring syncs appear very rapidly, that is the mirror. And I do feel we're at this pivot point, but I do feel the masculines are in this very aggressive, shadowy, scorpionic energy. It's like the Five of Swords, this wanting to win at all costs. I don't care who I'm going to hurt. And so just be wary of that, because this very karmic heavy energy is going to have to be purged and purified and cleansed in order for us to get to that pivot point within these connections. And so a big energy, I feel, tomorrow on Halloween, the Day of the Dead, or Samhain, we do have Venus in Virgo trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus at 21 degrees 36. And so Venus in Virgo is kind of like the detriment, though, because Venus has a hard time in Virgo, because Virgo is all about the details and logically trying to work our way through these emotions. And we are kind of having to go into the depths of feelings. So there's a lot of feelings coming up. I also feel with Venus trine Uranus, this is going to bring forward a tower. I feel a financial tower, and this is going to lead to either financial windfalls or financial downfalls. So there's going to be drastic changes in a lot of the financial statuses of the twins. Venus being the feminine, I do feel a lot of the feminines are coming into their abundance. It could just be an activation of gifts, but I do feel a lot within the tangible reality. Taurus is all about tangible energy. It's earth energy. Virgo is earth energy. This is where we make our dreams our reality this week, divine feminine. We also have Saturn stationing direct on Sunday, November the 4th at 0 degrees 30. 0 is a critical degree in astrology. It's an anaretic degree. 0 points are the Gnostic points. It's like this Genesis point of unlimited, untapped potential when it comes to these divine unions. And so I do feel the masculines are feeling this very intense karmic pull towards the feminine, towards the true counterpart. And a lot of these karmics are being abandoned for these greener pastures. And so I feel a lot of the masculines are really going to have to be mindful this week when it comes to abandoning the karmics, because a lot of the karmics are deep in fantasy and obsession. It just felt like a very stalkerish, sexual, temptress energy. So do be aware of temptation in the energies this week. But I do feel that eclipse portal came in and it was bringing forward a lot of sacred flame activations, these new mission work activations when it comes to these sacred marriages and these true divine partnerships. So let's jump in with the cards. Let's see what other energies we can expect for the twins for the week ahead. And I'm going to start off by using the Spiritual Journey Oracle deck. I love it. I love it. Open to receiving and paradigm shift. And so that's that divine why, the divine why. And so the eclipse came in to really kind of highlight all of these outdated relationship cycles, these old, ineffective, ancestral beliefs, programmed beliefs, And I feel a lot of the feminines have been struggling with the energy of receiving. I was talking to several divine feminines on the weekend, and I think that's one of the biggest blocks that the feminine faces is being open to receive. And this is where things have been so backwards collectively between the masculine and the feminine. The masculine is the giver. The masculine has the seed to give to the feminine grows the seed. And we've gotten this all backwards throughout the generations, where the feminine's the giver and the masculine receives, and the feminine doesn't receive anything back. And so a huge lesson in receiving. I also feel a lot of downloads have been coming in, a lot of spiritual downloads flowing between the crown and the third eye. And I feel a lot of throat chakra activations as well coming through in the energies this week. Let's start off by pulling into the divine masculine. What energies need to come through for the divine masculine this week? Okay, they're struggling. The transformation card just flipped out in reversed with the find your tribe. And so a lot of the masculines, I feel, are still clinging to that outdated soul group, to that outdated romantic partnership. And I do feel like they're trying to see through the veil of illusion, and they know that there is a better soul tribe out there for you. A lot of the masculines fear this transformation when it comes to releasing their social group, their social status, even though it's been depleting them and keeping them stuck and stagnant in a place of complacency. And so I do feel like almost like a forced transformation, a forced shedding of these false relationships, these false friendships, and all of these negative external factors. I feel it's like the masculines are getting hit with tower after tower after tower, revelation after revelation after revelation, when it comes to releasing everything that's not serving this higher purpose with the divine feminine. And I do feel there's that Piscean energy, kind of like the Hanged Man. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines are deep within these familial wounds, these toxic patterns. There's a lot of past life memories coming up for the divine masculine this week. I do feel the veil has kind of been lifted, and that's what Halloween is all about, right? This is where the veil is at its thinnest for all of this truth to be exposed. And so I think, the masculines couldn't see clearly. A lot of them do struggle with some type of addiction, whether it's alcohol, drugs, porn, materialism, anything of the sort. But I do feel they're starting to see things from that higher perspective. But I do feel they're deeply impacted as all of these repressed emotions and memories kind of surface when it comes to these negative, repetitive relationships that they've been cycling back through, whether it's with the same person or they keep cycling through many different affairs with people, but it's still the same lesson with a different face. But I do feel there's a massive releasing for some healing for the divine masculines in the energies this week. I do feel all of Scorpio season is going to be about this transformation and this death. And so on the divine feminine side, we get divine timing. And so everything is happening according to divine timing. I do feel this is the time where we find that deeper meaning, divine feminine, the seeker. A lot of the feminines are here to tap into that strong spiritual curiosity. We're here to find that deeper meaning for our life, for our relationships, and for this spiritual path. So I want to say, get ready, get grounded. This week, many of the twins are going to be put to the test when it comes to addressing these toxic patterns with ourselves. I know I'm being pushed to address anything unhealthy. I'm also being really pushed to keep purging more physicality out of my life within the house, going room to room and purging everything that's kind of just taking up space. And so I feel a lot of the masculines are being course corrected at this time. And there's a lot of mental clutter in the energies as all of these spiritual downloads kind of come in at a rapid, accelerated rate. And so I do feel clarity is coming, and many in the collective, especially the divine masculines, are going through this higher consciousness awakening, this Christ conscious awakening, which is shining a light on their true spiritual identity And I do feel they're coming to this massive realization of what their part is for this global awakening. So a lot of the guides and the angels, I feel, are connected to the twins at this time, guiding us on our journey. But we first do have to master deepening the relationship to ourselves and letting go. And so I feel a lot of the masculines are kind of learning their shadow side, learning their soul's language. I do feel they're looking at the feminine, and that is the only thing that is motivating them at this point in time. And divine feminine, which you need to do, you need to release all control and just surrender, because the spiritual path is being illuminated for both of the counterparts. So follow the signs and the things. This is going to be a week of some very tough karmic lessons reaching completion, especially between the Taurus and Scorpio axis. We're closing out a major 2-year cycle with that axis. And so I feel a week of resolving these negative past life experiences, and we're going to have to work through these very uncomfortable, painful lessons so we can turn it into an opportunity for growth. So let's dig into some archetype energies. We'll start off with the masculine. I grabbed my archetype deck, so we'll see what archetype energies the masculine is going to be up against this week. I didn't realize I had any reversals in the deck. We get the Hermit reversed with the Shapeshifter. And so I feel right now the masculines are very withdrawn. I feel that very isolated, desolate energy surrounding the masculine. It's like they're facing all kinds of negative judgments, I feel, exposure, public exposure, humiliation, because they've refused to step into that healing role. We're here to help those in need. That is a big part of our mission. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines have avoided focusing on that inner transformation, Virgo energy. And then we get this shapeshifter. And so I do feel they're mastering their skills when it comes to navigating through all of these different levels of consciousness. And I do feel they're seeing the interconnectedness in everything at this point in time. But they're also having to face the downfall of this false image that they've projected that really served their personal agenda at the time. And so all of that is kind of coming back around. And that's what Saturn going retrograde is really going to illuminate. Have you done the work? So pay attention to which house you have Pisces in your natal chart. And that's where Saturn will likely be most affecting you in the energies this week as Saturn goes direct. Okay. Divine masculine. We got the seeker energy with the trickster. We also got the Messiah energy in reverse. There's that Christ consciousness. And then we got the artist with the rebel. And on the bottom of the deck, we get the prince with the knight energy and the lover. Oh my gosh. The prince, the lover. And then we get the martyr. So we got a lot going on here. And then below the martyr, we get the king. And so this is the rise, right? So what I feel here is a lot of the masculines, they've got this inability to commit. A lot of the masculines fear commitment. And so they have to commit to the path, right? I do feel they are being shown some truth when it comes to the duplicity. We're going to have the moon shifting into Gemini. I believe it's tomorrow. Don't quote me on that. It could be later today. But a lot of the karmics manipulated through duality. And I do feel the masculine is transcending all of the karmics' predictable behavior. They can kind of see. With the Messiah in reverse, it's like this refusal to step into their service mission with their humanitarian mission. I do feel a lot of humility and exposure. A lot of the masculines really exaggerated their happiness in that false contract. And so there's like this huge fall energy. There could be like a lot of the masculines, they build themselves up with a lot of success. And it's like being kind of kicked off of that high horse energy. But I do feel they see the feminine in all of her glory, her talents. They see her expression, her authentic expression. And I do feel the masculine knows that this connection goes beyond just the five earthly senses, but without the true understanding and awareness. I just feel a lot of the masculines are having to face judgment when it comes to mistreating the divine feminine. And a lot of this is past life karma. But the rebel energy, this is Aquarian energy coming through. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines are facing a lot of challenges within their social group. I think there's a fear of this social change. And they're having to face where they rejected the legitimate offer from the divine feminine. So there's a lot of peer pressure, I feel, surrounding the masculine. But I feel with the prince, the knight, and the lover, this is the energy of a lot of the masculines do want to bring in an offer. I do feel a secret offer. They're planning something secret here with the flowers behind the back. I do feel like they've got to destroy that negative allegiance. And they are coming out of a state of romantic delusion in the karmic contract with the trickster. I do feel they know they're at that divine why, that pivot point of needing to choose the lovers, right? Gemini. And so after the new moon in Scorpio on the 13th, we will have a full moon in Gemini. I believe it's going to be on the 28th or the 27th. And so they can choose to stay in the karmic contract filled with obsessive, compulsive behaviors and self-destructive devotion, which they've been devoted to this self-destruction, or they can choose the great passion and devotion to the path with the divine feminine. But that would require bring forward some type of recognition or unbridled appreciation towards the feminine. And so the hold up or the hang up is the martyr energy, Piscean energy once again. And so a lot of these masculines have this addiction to this self-pity party. Oh, poor pitiful me. And when we all have the choice to kind of stand back in our light and to choose self-empowerment. And so I do feel they're learning to transcend the martyrdom that they've been allowed to kind of sit in. It's almost like the comfort zone of the masculine is playing the victim, playing the martyr. And so they're going to have to understand the cause and effect of these actions and choose to step into that true leadership role. And so the masculines are at the pivot point. They can choose to keep embracing the addiction to self-pity and this excessive feeling of entitlement, or they can choose the path of enlightenment and benevolent leadership. And we are here to benefit all of the people around us. So the masculines, I feel, are up against a lot of shadowy energy as some truth kind of gets exposed. And they've really been kind of rejecting all of their inner needs and focusing on everything outside of themselves. And this really is an inner transformation. So let's see what needs to come through for the divine feminine. We get the beggar, and that speaks of empowerment too. Okay, divine feminine, bottom of the deck, we get the scribe for you. So divine feminine, we get the fool. We get the monk and the nun energy. I feel a brand new beginning here. Oh my God, this is feeling very good, divine feminine. The guide and the teacher archetype. We get the poet archetype with God, and then we get the beggar. And so I do feel this is like the Five of Pentacles energy. I'm feeling it kind of like in reversed. I do feel the masculine's going to be coming back begging for forgiveness is what it feels like. Begging like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? And so I do feel as you kind of step into your self-empowerment, the masculine is kind of being forced to confront all of these deep-seated fears of abandonment and rejection, and their awakening, right? As you kind of fully step into your spiritual authority, the masculine is then kind of hitting the rock bottom of the humility. And they are very much struggling with self-esteem issues, I feel, self-worth issues, because of all the codependencies in their life. And I feel they're looking at you as like this goddess, this godlike energy, who has all of this compassion. And so I do feel they're recognizing this eternal life force energy within you, divine feminine. and they are really being controlled by a lot of people right now. And so I do feel it's really time for you, Divine Feminine, if you have not stepped fully into your mission work, to start expressing all of these spiritual insights that you've been receiving, because you have a specific symbolic language and energy that you emit and embody. And as you step fully into your light, it does kind of shine a light and bring all of these negative, destructive effects into the divine masculine's world. I think the masculine is looking at you as this guide, as this teacher. It's really time to step into all of your spiritual abilities, Divine Feminine, to communicate the wisdom, the knowledge that you've gained through this twin flame experience. I feel it's time to master your skills, to embrace all of this wisdom. And I do feel to step into that teaching role. And so it's like the feminine is here to represent the divinity in all of life. The feminine is the giver of life. And so I do feel financial gains coming for the divine feminine, a brand new beginning here with the Fool. And I do feel like I know for myself, I did a post on Facebook the other day. The shadow attributes do say using humor as a mask for the wounding. And I think the post is something about, how are you so funny? Well, it's all the trauma, right? But I do feel the feminine has gone into facing all of this emotional truth. And if you've not, then get ready to face where you've been denying this emotional truth, divine feminine. But I do feel there's a lot of emotions being revealed. This is the feminine fearlessly kind of taking the leap of faith when it comes to your mission work, I feel. And stepping into selfless devotion of your mission work and your devotion and dedication to your spiritual path, your spiritual purpose. And so don't be afraid of any negative judgments of communicating that truth when it comes to your outer reality. Because I do feel a lot of the feminines are here to preserve all of this Gnostic knowledge and to share this information with the younger generations. And so I just feel you too might need to be aware of a vampire in your energy. There could be someone or something that's draining your life force energy. And this could just be negative thought patterns, divine feminine. But I do feel we're leaving codependent survival energy in the past. And I do feel many of the feminines are coming into this very delightful energy. I do feel a lot of advancement within your professional life, within your spiritual pursuits, because of all of this deep knowledge that you possess. And I do feel releasing that victim mentality, the abandonment mentality when it comes to feeling like the karmic stole all of this from you, right? And so a light is being shed, I feel, collectively of what's held a lot of the divine feminines from manifesting all of this potential wealth. And I just want to remind you, nothing can ever be stolen from you that belongs to you. And so I do feel there's going to be karmic repercussions on the karmics aspect for the stealing of the affection of the divine masculine. But I do feel the feminine too is learning to release any energy of feeling victimized, right? And this is where I feel the feminines are mastering, maintaining those very firm personal boundaries, right? Is what I feel. So I feel a week of the twins feeling these deep-seated abandonment and rejection wounds that really have stifled our spiritual expansion and our spiritual growth, and then seeking those appropriate family structures. And so I feel a lot of the feminines are stepping towards independence and conquering all of those survival fears. And that's one of the biggest lessons, is a lot of the feminines need to learn to kind of go it alone for a while. So I think a week of taking risks, a week of taking chances. We have to be willing to follow our intuition, even when other people kind of get in our ears and kind of create that doubt and that confusion. But I do feel a lot of the masculines too are learning to mother themselves. They're also dealing with a very smothering karmic feminine energy that's really been instilling guilt in them, I feel. And so what I want to say is take pride in where you've come from, divine feminine. You've held your patience. You've held on to this unconditional love throughout the separation journey. And I feel you're stepping into joy. You're about to give birth to a brand new life. So let's jump in with some tarot. Let's see what needs to come through for the twins for the week ahead. Tower, Ace of Wands. This could be an unexpected revelation, idea. Wands represent fire, ideas, creativity, and then we get a tower. And so there's going to be the breakdown of the false beliefs. The tower comes in to rip apart everything that's not aligned. And so there's going to be a lot of shakeups this week. And it's going to lead to a brand new, exciting, creative project, a brand new, passionate beginning. So let's pull into the divine masculine side and see what messages are coming through on the divine masculines. And I love it. We get the 6-6, 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands upright, King of Swords. So I do feel the masculine is preparing to come in and communicate. This signifies communication. This is victory after facing all kinds of challenges and obstacles. This is about the masculine reciprocating what was not reciprocated by the feminine. This is Libra energy. This is balance. This is justice. And I do feel, yeah, so we get the 5 of Pentacles with the 3 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, with the 7 of Wands, and below that, the Empress. I do feel like the 5 to the 3, we got an 8 of Pentacles. The masculines are wanting to come out from the cold. They do want to work well with you. I do feel they are ready to come in and fight for this connection. They do have soul recognition of the divine feminine at this time. You are their empress. And I do feel spirit is communicating with you to stay calm. We're in the middle of these birthing pains, labor pains, and we are about to birth this new cycle. And so I do feel the masculine intends on coming in with some communication, perhaps even an apology or a love offer. But right now they're in a tug of war in that karmic cycle, learning a very painful karmic lesson, wrapping something up with the Queen of Wands. The karmic feminine. So let's see what needs to come through on the divine feminine side. What energies are coming through for you? We get the 5 of Cups in reversed. I really like that. So you've healed. I feel this is a week of laying down the burden of all of the past emotional disappointments. You're releasing the past pains. You're no longer going to carry this burden. The 10 also leads us to the Ace, which we saw at the cut. I feel a brand new beginning in love for the divine feminine and union. We are in union energy, Taurus energy, the Hierophant. And so this is a week of realignment. Absolutely. As you lay down the burdens of all of the past pains, all of the past disappointments, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, this is bringing in a higher divine connection. This is the highest authority. I also feel a lot of the feminines are deeply connected with the divine at this time, and this is creating a realignment. And I think this tower is going to be a love offer. Unexpected offer, unexpected communication. And I do feel this might be something small, but I do feel the masculine intends to come forward with something tangible, a gift, as all of these perceptions are shifting when it comes to laying those new foundations, that Virgo energy with the Knight of Pentacles. But we first have to go through the dismantling, the 10 of Swords, the final ending. We have to face the past betrayals, and we have to harness our spiritual strength to go through this death. So I do feel Scorpio season is bringing forward truth, revelations, and some of this is not going to be easy to digest. There's that Leo energy I felt. And after the death, we get the truth. The King and Queen of Cups. We get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And so what was hidden is coming to light. And we are tempering these unions, and we are going towards victory and success after a long period of soul suppression, depression, and thinking like maybe this was a missed opportunity. So let's do a couple self-care messages. We're going to get a message for the Divine Masculine. What else does the Divine Masculine need to know for the energies for the week ahead? So these are affirmation cards, reflection cards, inspiration cards. So we're going to see what comes through for the masculine. I really like this. So we get an affirmation for the Divine Masculine, and we also get a reflection card. And so I feel this is where the masculines are at, in a state of loneliness. Poverty of self. That's that 5 of Pentacles, right? And so they're learning that loneliness and solitude is where we really tap into that richness of our soul. And so I feel a lot of the masculines are learning to befriend themselves and to befriend their fear monster at this time, and to tend to their heart and their heart's desires with another. And the reflection is allowing them to see that the past does not have to define who they are today. We all have a past. We all have a history. It allows us to grow and expand and learn some painful lessons at times. But the past does not define us. It actually reorients us so we can redefine who we truly are. The trauma does not have to define us. And so I feel the masculine's going to have a hard time catching his breath this week, as all of these emotions that have been repressed kind of boil to the surface in order for them to be here and now. I feel the path is right in front of the Divine Masculine this week, and they are needing to take a leap of faith. You know, a lot of the masculines lied to a lot of people. I think there's fear of nobody really understanding why they had to lie. A lot of the masculines have been silencing all of these irrational thoughts, and I do feel like this racing heart energy. They've been telling everybody they're okay when they're not. And I feel the racing heart is them attempting to come in with communication and facing that fear. So let's get you some self-care messages for the Divine Feminine, a self-care message for the Divine Feminine. You have an affirmation card, just the one came out. So this is a week of recognizing the company that you're keeping. Are you keeping good company? Right? You might have to reevaluate some of the people that you're connected with within your group of friends as well, Divine Feminine. Might be a good time to pick up a book, read a book. I know I got a shelf all down there of books. I go shopping almost every other week at Book Brothers, the used bookstore, and I pick up books all the time, and I always have to laugh when I share the books that I bought with my other Divine Feminines. I'm like, we'll see how long that sits on the shelf before I get to it, maybe in a year from now. But this might just be a really good time of soaking in information, maybe looking into some coursework, reading a book. But it's about cultivating your spiritual journey as faithfully as you can this week. Because once you embrace all of your values and your inner talents and strengths, that's when you get to a place of neutrality. That's when you get to a place of balance. And so reflect upon your value this week, Divine Feminine. I just feel a lot of mirroring in the energies as we move through the energies this week. And self-compassion is going to be key. But I do feel the masculine does want to reach out to you. They feel like you're the only one that they can trust at this time. And that's what this journey is all about, right? We teach each other how to love ourselves to the fullest capacity. So I feel the feminine, once again, is coming into integrated spiritual balance, and get ready to receive the blessings that are meant for you in your life this week, Divine Feminine. And that's what I have for the week ahead, guys. If you would like to book a personal or a soulmate reading with me, check out the description box below. Keep an eye out for an announcement video later today. I am going to be launching another 5-week online tarot class. So if you would like to learn to read the tarot with me, I highly suggest jumping on this bandwagon and joining the class. I've already got 3 people that have reached out asking, Laura, when are you going to do this class again? I really want to learn the tarot. If the class setting is something that's not interesting you, feel free to shoot me an email. My email is in the description box below, and we can talk about some one-on-one coaching. if you feel that that would be a better option as well. I got some really fun things I'm planning to announce coming to the channel in November. So keep an eye out for that announcement video later today. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.